Hello, friends. I'm Cassandra Joan Butler. This is Cosmic Connection, and we're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. So get ready to take some notes, I hope, and to do some reflection on this very important hiccup, the election that's in limbo, this very emotional moment. How is everyone doing? How is everyone feeling? You might be processing the incredible confusion in the air. Good evening, Michael and Paula and Heather, Alicia, Karen, and 8 other people watching. Hello, and Paula. I want to give you a big welcome, and I would invite you, please, to share this webcast to your friends, because when you share, then other people can perhaps reflect on what I'm about to talk about. And I think that what we're going through is one of the most karmic moments in the U.S. history. Tonight I want to talk about, and I'm just going to say a big warm hug to everybody, because I want to get into my train of thought. And just one more big hug to Susan and Robin, Political Exhaustion, Rachel and Joan and Donna and Retta and Maria. Hello, Susan and Cindy. I really appreciate you being here, and I really appreciate your interest in tapping into the language of the cosmos. I feel it's my passion, because it really keeps me sane. It's kept me sane for 30 years. It keeps me slightly detached in a good way in my life. So here's what I'd like to offer you tonight. It's exhausting to be in a collective experience connected to a country that we all love, when that country is going through a major astrological shakeup from the planet Uranus, which in any astrological book says it is the planet of the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. I know there are, myself included, there have been a number of astrologers who made some predictions about the election. The election is not over. At least I don't think it's over as of this moment. I've been meditating on what I'm going to be talking to you about tonight. It's getting closer and closer, but I think the operative message is that the messages we have been receiving, since June especially, have been convoluted and orchestrated. And in other words, friends, I think you might all agree with this. The biggest loser last night were the pollsters. The pollsters had a very specific prediction of 8 points in favor of former Vice President Biden. And it goes to show you that, and there's more and more evidence coming out on that accord. I try to post stuff on my page that, and I always dislike this expression, I'll just say it right now, fake news. I think the holes in the messengers and the messages are coming to light. And I think that's an extraordinarily important thing, because it's mental exhaustion which creates fear. And going back to the very basics of this particular year, the year of 2020 is the year of fear. It's not just the election, of course. It's been the pandemic. It's been the social unrest. It's been the United States perhaps facing it with its own shadow, the parts of the U.S. that we don't like. We all have parts we don't like. What we personify is our uniform, our persona. And that is one of the reasons why President Donald Trump has had such a visceral reaction, plus or minus, with people. What he wears on his sleeve is Mars, the fighter. What former Vice President Biden wears on his sleeve is Venus. I'm a little bit of both, basically, right? I'm a Libra rising, and I have Mars is the warrior planet that's very strong in my chart. So when we have a persona out there, people sometimes don't dig beneath the surface. So if there's one message I've been hoping to communicate with you, and I will tonight as well, is do your own research, go beyond the rhetoric, and find a place of calmness and centering and grounding within you, because this is the year of fear. That big lineup of planets back in January are still alive and well in this country right now. Now, I understand the last news report about the election is that the president has now begun to file lawsuits. And I'm going to talk a lot about the U.S. chart tonight, because when we form, what is a lawsuit? I mean, basically a lawsuit is a pushback against faith. And I'm going to get a little philosophical with you. Well, this has been the year of fear. It's also been the year of trying to find our inner faith in a storm of reason and science versus faith. I'll come around to what I'm trying to say in just a moment here. So faith is not just about religion or about spirituality. Faith is playing a havoc right now in the charts of the U.S., but science is as well. For example, last night, I'm sure many of you, I'm very tired, were up and watching when one of the networks called for Arizona with 74% of the vote coming in to go to Vice President Biden. And, you know, I'm an amateur, you know, I'm not a vote person, but they had the experts coming out and saying that it was very scientifically valid with 74% of the vote. And I think many people, myself included, were like, really? Really? But not every one of the votes were counted. To count a vote, you have to use a great deal of faith in each other and in the process of voting. So right now in this country, since Halloween, the very essence, the very spine, the very purpose and focus of the United States is having an astrologically based wake-up call. Now, please understand the way I use astrology is more description than prediction, and that the planets aren't actually doing anything. They're just reflectors of certain moments. So on Halloween, we had the moon, which is emotions, which is core feelings of security, next to the planet that represents science, unusual, unpredictability, and Uranus is the planet of crazy genius. And it was forming an angle to the U.S.'s destiny mark in past life, both of which are like in the crosshairs of going through a crisis. And I think that we're in it right now, obviously. So that every month when we have the full moon cycle, that full moon carries a certain energy or feeling tone or effect unconsciously. So as we wade through what's going to happen, I want to tell you, express to you what the Sabian symbols are concerning the United States' destiny mark. Make no mistake, every country, every city, every person has a chart if it has a beginning point. So this is based on July 4th of 1776 at 5:10 p.m. in Philadelphia. So our destiny part of our chart is an anarchist, is stirring up discontent, spreading revolutionary ideals. The country was formed under a revolution. So that was the section of the United States' collective feeling tone that was being shaken up since Saturday and still in effect until our new moon on November 15th. The past life is a very interesting one. It's called Beautiful Gowned Wax Figures. The interpretation of this is that our shadow side as a collective group of Americans is believing in that waxed, idealized form of who we are, without flaws, beautifully waxed gown figures. It kind of implies that one of the shadow sides of the United States is kind of keeping up with the Joneses. You ever hear that expression? That everyone is in a great spirit and everyone has a better car, kind of the shadow side of consumer capitalism. And I mean that not as an anti-capitalist, because the country was also founded under the precepts of John Locke. The original declaration was going to include the pursuit of happiness and possessions, but they put the word happiness in lieu of the word of possessions, because John Locke's philosophy was one that people do have self-interest as well as collective compassion for others, that we are a very complex animal, we humans. I divert a little bit, but I think this election is so much more than just about two people vying for the presidency. To reflect on it, it really is the essence of what the United States is all about. And we're confused. The United States' progressed sun chart is in Pisces. So we're going through, for the past 10 years, a real reordering of our inner soul and our compassion. I know I'm trying to get a lot of stuff out tonight, and all you want to know is who's going to win, and I understand that. And I will be very, very frank with you. Astrology is a great descriptor, but not always a great predictor. Every astrologer I know knew that the election day was going to be similar to the one in 2000, because we had Mercury retrograde as the day began. And Mercury retrograde is about communications being awry and information being left out. And we also have the dual retrograde of Mars, which is kind of like simmering irritation and anger and exhaustion. We're still in that cycle. Again, bits and pieces of different pundits out there that I've picked up, they're saying we might not know, some say as early as tomorrow, who the victor is. Or it might even take a couple of weeks if this goes to the courts. And Mars goes direct on November 13th. So there's a possibility this might be a very long, drawn-out episode in this country. I'm going to go back to what I want to talk about, though, which is fear, faith, and science. Because this is taking place during this enormously important year of transformation, when all the planets are lined up in the sign that represents the elites, governments, people in control, it's kind of pushing up against all of us to find that sweet spot between giving our faith to the experts and using our faith to touch in with our own personal intuition, listening and acknowledging contradictory information coming at us from all points. But maybe one of the fallout of this great year of transformation, and many are calling it the Great Awakening year, is maybe use this amazing stress that we're all feeling, not just with the election, but with COVID and everything else, to tap into our other signature skill sets, which include our intuitive self. I would like to just kind of communicate all this to you. It's hard to do it without the visuals, but I'm going to reflect a little bit more on the charts. Wherever you find 26-ish cardinal in your chart, that's Libra, Aries, Cancer, or Capricorn, that is the area that's being highly tensed, just like the United States' chart. 24, 26 to 26 degrees of the cardinals, because in this time frame, we've got the planets forming a box in the sky, and we all may be feeling boxed in and overwhelmed and tensed with this pattern. It does get somewhat relieved after Mars goes direct. Again, that's November 13th. And a significant date might even be this particular lunation, which takes place on Sunday. Let's talk about Sunday. So on Sunday the 8th at 8:46 a.m., a lot of religious themes here. The Sabian symbol of that particular degree, when the sun and the moon square each other, is a church choir sings behind the scenes. So to me, that represents that all of us have to get into our own personal spiritual or religious practice, our meditation, our praying for the country, for the world, and for ourselves individually, because when we throw all of our incredible desire on an outcome, sometimes it backfires. I don't know who's going to become president. It's so razor thin, but I do know this: expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, because this is all happening with Uranus taking the lead, and it's pushing up against the North Node in the US's chart, which is the revolutionary ideals being spread, the revolutionary degree. It's also clearing up, I think, old patterns of thinking that everything has to be starkly waxed and beautiful and perfect. We're leaving that particular arena. All right, so I think I'm all over the place with this. I think it's because I am tired. I was very much caught up in the maelstrom of not knowing. And a message I want to give to each of us is, ultimately, because this is the year of fear, if your guy doesn't win, if your guy doesn't make it in, you still have the opportunity and the imperative to find your own center and your own place of peace within. I think that's the message. And to fight the fear at every turn. You can't make this year up. When you are in fear, then your immunity just buckles off and buckles down, and you can't think straight. Because all the blood flow goes to your organs and away from your brain, so you're not able to think rationally or intuitively. So my prayer for each of us is to be very aware that we are fighting fear on the most grand of levels, and we're also fighting manipulation of our thoughts through, and I think this has been really established. If it hasn't been established in your mind yet, just even take a peek at Netflix's Social Dilemma film, that the big technocratic media machines feed us what they want us to hear. That's the message I want to convey. Again, I think we would all agree who really lost last night was the pollsters. And you can see the repercussions of having lies or innuendos sent down the media stream. So again, by cultivating our meditative, our spiritual practice, that's going to keep us all sane and fearless in the face of whatever comes. So that is what I want to share with you. Okay. I want to say hello to you all. Physical, political exhaustion. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Donna. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Franca. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Nancy. Yeah, we are wanting to wait this to be over, to get on with our lives. And that's another a theme that we've all been saying out loud relative to the COVID crisis, right? When can we get back to normal? I think it's imperative, because this is such an abnormal year that's never been repeated for 500 years, really, to have all of our structures being pushed to the hilt. We have to find a way to get into our own personal structures, which is, I think, led to us by our intuition, by our compassion, our ability to pray and meditate. So, hi, Frank. Hi, Jill. Hey, Karen. Hello. Okay, happening right now. Michigan officials are holding a news conference. I can't read the rest of it. I mean, as this happens, there's a constant stream of barrage of immediacy. That does something to our brain. You got to pay attention to this now. Pay attention to that. But ultimately, because this is, like I said, the year of fear, our fight back is, our fighting against that tool is imperative. All right. Hi there. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, my friends, for sharing. I do want to do some information about that Sunday lunation. So what we can do for this particular week. Make a mental note that I think by Sunday is a very important day. It's really being categorized as like a new beginning, and things will begin, I hope, to, I missed my microphone here, to be settled by Sunday, but maybe not ultimately settled until possibly the 13th of November. If you are Aries or Aries rising, what we're going to be looking at this Sunday, I'm just going to do this really quickly, just do a little, all right, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, we got it. Okay. All right, if you are, I beg your pardon, friends. This is what exhaustion does. How late did everyone stay up last night, by the way? Okay, that's 2. All right. Okay, that's 12. That's fine. Okay. If you are, I'm so sorry. If you are Aries or Aries rising, this particular week after Sunday is about building a release for yourself so you can have more creativity and joy and romance and the beautiful things of life. It's about activating your inner muse. If you are Taurus or Taurus rising, this is very much about you doing what you can to ground and center your home and your family. Make those stronger connections with those you love. If you're Gemini or Gemini rising, rhetoric, information, and marketing is so important for you after Sunday. Also organizing your papers. Cancer or Cancer rising. This is all about going within your deepest soul, your deepest heart, to retreat, relax, and meditate or pray. Leo or Leo rising, step up to the plate, take action. This is a really energizing time for the Leos as of Sunday. For the Virgos, it has to do very much with creating wealth, creating value, perhaps taking care of your income. For Libras, connecting with your friends in a new way, making your groups and associations more important and more reliable. For our Scorpio, it has to do with your career after Sunday, really taking more of a leadership role. Sagittarius, it has to do with this week upcoming, your career, your sense of value, and also perhaps education and expansion. Capricorn, it's all about you stepping into your inner power base, your psychological, your spiritual power. For Aquarius, the energy is all about your partner, spending time with your beloved and spending time with creating stronger bonds. For Pisces, it's about your work, and it's also about the way that you're doing your work, the tools necessary to create a healthier you or a more efficient you at work. Okay. All right, friends, I'm going to also pick, for those of you who have shared, which I really appreciate, please share. Every time you share, you receive a chance in my little basket. I put your name in there. So the winner of today's transit report, which is going to be for the next month going forward. It's amazing. Next month, we're getting into December, is Deb Morris. Are you here tonight, dear? Deb Morris Rooney. Deb, are you in the room? Okay, congratulations. I will be sending you your transit report. And next we're going to do some mediumship. Actually, you might think that being tired is a deficit, but I find when I'm tired with my left brain, and I am, my intuitive self tends to become a little sharper. You will also discover that too as you, perhaps, I know we have mediums in the room, but I think you might all agree, when we are in a lower state of logical activity in our brain, the right brain takes over. So I'm going to do that for you now, and I'll close my eyes and do a little mediumship. Okay. All right. Okay. Marianne, my dear, Marianne Pace Steiner, may I come to you? Miss Marianne. And all you have to do is just say, hi, I'm here. Okay. Miss Marianne. Marianne. Okay, yes, fantastic. All right, sweetie. Dear God, please allow me to serve Marianne. Please allow my words be filled with love and light, truth, inspiration, and healing for her highest and for her best as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Amen. Marianne, the first thing the first person I'm connecting with for you is, I believe this was or is your former husband, a man in spirit. He identifies himself as a spouse, as a husband, or a sweetheart. And as he's coming in, he's reminding you at how well you have been the man about the house since he's no longer alive, and how you have made decisions relative to the mechanics and operation of the house itself, that you've been extraordinarily talented in the way that you put everything together within your home. And he's kind of giving you a bravo, that this is not something for the weak of heart, that he's just telling you that. He's also commiserating with you, expressing the fact that he understands how tired you are of doing all that random house maintenance and so forth. And so he's giving you a suggestion, which you may have already taken and may have already done this. It's okay to spend a little extra to get extra people coming in to take care of the things that you no longer are willing, you're still able to do, but willing to do. It's just a silly little message, I guess, but he's just wants to acknowledge that for you. It's okay. You're not surrendering to being anything but faithful to managing your precious time. I'm also getting for you, Marianne, this is, I get a mother and a sister coming in, her sister. I don't think it's your sister. Mother and her sister, so I guess an aunt. And they're coming in together and they're holding hands, and they were very fierce, powerful, funny women. Although your mother had a little bit more of the, I want to use the word, fragility about her. She didn't always believe in her own competence, but I get these two beautiful women coming in, reminding you that you too also have very good friends that you can rely on who are like sisters to you. All right, so I hope, okay, oh good. Thank you, Marianne. I guess you got some good acknowledgement there. One more thing for you, Marianne. I think you've planted some bulbs for the spring, and they're different colored bulbs or different types of bulbs. If you haven't, that's a message, I think, from the ladies. It's not too late to get them in the ground. I'm getting the reds as well as the yellows for next year, for the springtime. I'll leave that with God's blessings. Okay, Marianne, thanks for being here. It's always wonderful to see you. All right, so I'm just going to scroll. All right, okay. Teresa Grace Foray. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Teresa Grace Foray? Did I say the right pronunciation? Oh, they're in the basement. The flowers in the basement. Okay, Marianne, get them out. We still have some nice weather before the snow flies, right? Okay, Teresa. I'd like to come to you if that's okay. And Teresa, as I'm tuning into your energy, I'm made aware of a sliding, no. It's not a sliding glass door, but it's one of those like doors which are, I'm going to use the word, boy, I'm telling you the logic isn't here. It's not a slider. It's like an accordion door, and it's in need of replacement. It's like not a slider, but it's like an accordion. It's on some form of, it's off track. This could be a metaphorical message for you, Teresa. I'm not sure, but I'm getting this door that's stuck. It's not on track anymore. I'm asking Spirit if this is a real door or a metaphorical door, and they're saying both, actually. That there's something about you hesitant, you're being hesitant to go through this new doorway, to go to this other cycle or level in your life, which is going to bring you a lot more creative excitement. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean a new job, but there's something you've been hesitating about, just putting yourself out there, like jumping through the doorway, and it has to do with either creativity. There's a mixture of spirituality in here, but when I'm saying creative, I'm seeing you actually doing something with your hands or painting or something along these lines, maybe sewing or working with real material to create something beautiful that uplifts other people. I don't know if this resonates with you at all, but I'll keep with the word creativity, that you've just been hesitating because the doorway, you have been feeling it's not the right time. And of course, I'm immediately getting, of course it's not the right time. We're still in COVID time. But that you're doing and drawing up the plans to do this type of new venture for yourself. And I'm hearing April very strong for you. So as we get through the winter months, redo the doorway and also bolster up your own confidence in how you want to go through this new experience of sharing your gifts with other people. Okay. Oh, you are a watercolorist. Oh, how cool. I just closing my eyes. Teresa, that's cool. So do your work, sweetie. And maybe that new doorway is going to be getting yourself attached to a gallery or something. I'm glad that resonates with you, sweetie. I really am, because it's very risky to do this type of work, but you see, I totally trust Spirit, right? And that's especially when I'm tired like this. I don't even trust my own logic, but if that makes sense to you, God bless you, and thank you for being here. Please share this webinar or any one of them as I go through this. I am so passionate about sharing the astrological language with as many people as possible, because in my mind, what it does for us, it gives us not a belief, but a knowledge that there are so many more greater, wiser, universal energies out there than anyone could ever be incarnated as a human being. That we are living in a matrix that is divinely inspired. So when I guess this sounds a little Pollyanna-ish, but when I'm hitting up against a wall of some great disappointment, I always remind myself that we are always in tune with the universe for the highest and best. And this country of ours is going through this very important square of Uranus to its nodes. We are being forced to look at ourselves, and we are forced to reassemble. And I don't mean this in a negative way. I'm a big flag-waving American. I know, I don't just believe, I know that this country was formed by astrologers who had this very unusual, those forefather guys, they were all, half of them, we know for sure, were Masons, and they created this country which had three distinct personalities: the compassionate, warm, fuzzy Cancer, the Aquarian technological wizardry, and the freedom aspect of Sagittarius. And during the history of the United States, some parts of those threefold personalities become more active than others. And so in the past 10 years, like I said, astrologically, the country has been going through a little bit of a crisis. And we're going through a crisis this week. But it's going to come out. It's going to be okay. And in the year of fear, do everything you can to create a venue for you to do your creative passion, whatever that might be. Because creativity is love in action. So whatever makes your soul sing, get away from the rhetoric on those TV stations and Facebook and Google. They all want a piece of your mind. They really do. And what will be will be. Que sera, sera. I'm not giving up. I think that we need to play out whatever we need to play out, but try not to let this affect and rip your heart out, no matter what the outcome is. That's my message for you tonight, okay? Yes, Donna Lynn, we are a Sagittarius rising country. I think you're a Sag too. All right. I love that. Use your intuition, friends, right? Use your tarot cards, but trust yourself. And that's what we're all about. God bless you guys, and God bless America. And know that we are undergoing and witnessing quite a little drama there, but we can take care of ourselves and be centered and be just fine. So big love, and maybe we'll have, I don't think we will, but maybe we will have a president next week when I speak with you. But maybe we won't, because Mars is still retrograde. And if it gets feisty and furious with the courts, that's shown up in the charts too. You know, you have to have this drama play out the way it's supposed to play out. Okay, see you later, friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bless you, bless you, bless you for being there. And God bless us all. Bye-bye.